My love for great stories began a long time ago, when I was still a young mouselet. I spent hours and hours reading wonderful books. They took me on a fantastic adventures to mysterious, faraway lands. Reading made my imagination soar, and it made me want to become a writer too. So I thought I'd share one of my very favorite tales with you. A great literary masterpiece. Do you like exciting excursions and impossible challenges? Then get ready to travel with Phileas Fogg and his butler, Passepartout, on a breathtaking adventure across stormy seas, mysterious forests, and enormous plains. There's not a moment to waste. It's time to go around the world in 80 days. Who is Phileas Fogg? It all started with a bet on a cold and foggy London evening in 1872. One magnificent mouse claimed he could travel around the world in only 80 days. But who could even imagine that such a fabumouse feat was possible? And what rodent could have been brave enough to accept such an enormous challenge? Phileas Fogg, that's who. You might guess that Phileas Fogg was a fearless adventurer, but no. Fogg was a calm gentlemouse who loved his habits and routines. He had travelled a little bit as a young mouselet, but he hadn't left London in years. Now he only travelled from his house at 7 Savile Row to the Reform Club for a daily game of cards with his friends, engineer Andrew Stout, bankers Samuel Fallentin and John Sullivan, brewer Thomas Flanagan, and the director of the Bank of London, Gauthier Ralph. Aside from his daily trip, hardly anyone knew anything about the quiet and mysterious life of Phileas Fogg. Fogg was perfectly happy to keep to himself. He didn't go to the theatre, never followed horse racing, and didn't want a cheese crumb of anything to do with politics. He wasn't married, and he didn't have any mouselets of his own. All other mice knew was that he was a rich English rodent. Truly an elegant gentlemouse. No one had ever seen him lose his patience, and nothing ever seemed to bother him or put his tail in a twist. It was quite a marvelous feat. Phileas Fogg's days were always the same, perfectly organized. Every day he left his house at 11:30 in the morning, headed to the Reform Club, and came home at midnight on the dot. He ordered lunch and dinner inside the historic club, always at the same time and at the same table. Everything was the same, day after day after day. Fogg was too fond of his fur to deal with anything unexpected, but the mice who paid the price of Fogg's strict routine were his servants. He didn't intend to be a mean boss, but he did insist that everything happened on time and in perfect order. Fogg's last butler, James Frost Foster, had carefully prepared the shaving water for Mr. Fogg one day, but he'd made it 2 degrees cooler than Fogg wanted it, so Fogg had fired him. Holy cheese, Phileas Fogg was strict. On the same day that James Foster was fired, a new butler arrived to take his place. And when the doorbell rang right on time, Phileas Fogg couldn't help but think that the new butler was starting off on the right paw.